Reefers. If you're back watching this, you obviously weren't put off by the dulcet tones of my voice previously, where I sounded a little bit on the edge of suicide, but yeah, I'll try and cheer up for this video. Not quite the end of the month, 22nd of April now. I had a phone call from the aquarium, Aqua Home over in Leyland. My red Sea Reefer is in and will be delivered tomorrow. So today's the big day where I have to shift all of this into that. The tank is an absolute mess at the moment. I had a bit of a dirt to do. Obviously we were having algae problems, as you can see there on the GSP. PO tests were showing negative, they were showing 0, which anybody who knows these things will tell you that that's because the algae is eating all the PO and absorbing it, which is why you've actually got high PO. It just doesn't register sometimes. So went out, I got some sea chem, just a bag which I put in the sump, and actually it seemingly made things worse. As you can tell, I wasn't getting quite this sort of effect on the last. The only thing I can think of is that because there's been a dramatic reduction in PO values in the tank, that the remaining algae is making the best of a bad situation, and it's probably caused a little bit of a bloom. The other part of the disaster was on the back of this. Unfortunately, I got up this morning too. I don't know if you can see. I'll see if I can zoom in. What looks to be a rather dead nem. It was perfectly fine yesterday when we went out, came back, it was looking in quite a bad way, and it looks to have perished. I didn't want to take it out last night, at least wanted to give it a chance. It did seem to have a little bit of life in it, but I know that's a risk. Anybody who knows about nems will tell you that if these things go, they have a tendency to kind of take your tank with them, so they're better off out than in. But I knew I was going to be moving the tank today, so I just wanted to at least give it a chance to see whether or not we could pull it back from the brink, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Not entirely sure what happened to it. Godzilla, my hermit crab, he's been sort of hanging around that area recently. I think maybe he's been encroaching on the actual nem itself. Maybe he's toppled it. The nem wasn't quite rooted in position, or whether or not it is a result of me having put the sea chem in and the rapid reduction of PO4 in the tank. If anybody knows, by all means, please drop a comment. I'd love to be enlightened onto what people think is the issue there. Everything else seems to be okay. If anything, the bloody pulsing xenia doesn't seem to have been put off by it. The GSP, despite the algae, as you can see, is coming out. The mushrooms are perfectly fine, as is the little zoa colony there that sits on top of the small mollusk of sorts. So it's really only affected the nem, but as we know, nems can be susceptible to sudden changes. So perhaps really I shot myself in the foot really by putting the sea chem in, but well, it's easy to say you live and learn, but it doesn't really help the poor old nem, does it? So I'm a little bit gutted about that. But for now, I'm going to start getting all of this out, getting it moved, and with any luck, I'll have an update shortly for you all. Okay, so right, probably halfway through the job now. I've got most of the rock, certainly the rock with the corals in there, and I don't know if you can see with the reflections, but Godzilla is also in there. The water is currently just warming up a little bit. Got a 200 watt heater in there just to keep things going, and as soon as I've got a bit more water in there, I'll set that return pump going. It's amazing just how much crap is in your account. Oh, my poor old little reef lobster is having a very existential moment. He's be seen by the light, and I don't think he really likes that idea of being nocturnal, but he's alright in the shop. He'll be okay once I get him in the new tank. He'll have plenty of places to hide. As a last note, before I carry on, if I ever decide to do this again, you have my permission to he-bitch man-slap me. What a nightmare of a job. I didn't expect it to be easy, but the rigmarole. When you're doing it on your own, there is crap everywhere. But I am glad to be getting out of this tank. I mean, a bit hard to see with the dim these lights a little bit. Yeah, wrong ones. Let's turn those on. There we go. And apart from the reflection of the lights, there's crap everywhere. This was underneath the rock. A lot of it has come off the rock as I've been moving it. Not sad to see little dead pieces any there. I do have an Nacerius in here somewhere. He's probably buried himself under the rock, under the sand bed, so I'm going to have to dig him out. But ideally, I wanted the tank as clear as possible before I transfer the livestock. So all the water's coming out here, going via a filter sock into one of these buckets. Bristleworm in there, it's fallen off one of the rocks, so probably that piece of rock is going to have to stay overnight in the bucket there, whilst the fish and everything else can just be transferred in this bucket to the other tank. I want to get the lobster moved. He's having a really stressful time at the moment. He's not enjoying not having anywhere to hide. Really. I'm going to leave the rest of the water in there now. I'm not obviously it's dragged up a lot of the sediment from digging up the sandbed, getting the shells and little bits of rock, and the Nacerius who buried himself right at the bottom of the tank. So it stirred up a lot of muck and crap, which I really don't want to be transferring. So I'm going to sacrifice that water. And also with the stuff from the potentially dead Nem, I'm loath to drag it over. So now we're just going to see how these crazy kids do this evening. Hopefully they'll be okay in there until probably 2-3 o'clock tomorrow. By the time I actually get the new tank set up and in place. So in the meantime, I've got to get rid of the rest of this water, get rid of the tank, get rid of the sump, clean up all this crap, rip up this floor, get a socket put in down there. You know, little things. But in the meantime, I've got to nip out now and get some live rock. So yeah, I will be back soon. Job done. Everything's clear. Carpet vaxed. Rest of house looking like scrap aquarium, but the fish are all back in their little tank now. They seem to be okay. Good zero finding his way around. I really don't like these curved edges on tanks, they're a bugger to clean. But they're only going to be in it for a day, so they look seemingly happy enough. I think George, my little gold spot goby there, he's a little bit peed off because he's got no sand to play with. My lobster now has recovered from his bout of existential dread where he couldn't find a place to hide, and I haven't seen him since. And the shrimp seems happy enough up there. So all in all, not a bad day's work. Next up is hopefully tomorrow morning get the Reefer 250, get that built, installed, and hopefully get all this moved before close of play tomorrow. Okay, back soon.